This NFL Picks Week 16 edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code SGPN to score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Rebet, a new sportsbook available in 45 states. Download Rebet in your app store and use promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $100. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm, the leader in data-driven picks and props. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM and make sure to sign up for the SGPN College Football Playoff Challenge. Free to enter and $1,000 in grand prizes. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CFP to enter today.
Hey, it's Peyton Manning, and you're listening to SGPN. Let's ride.
Cox. He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
Week 16, Sean.
Week 16 is here.
Some will say this is the toughest week we've faced.
I listened to a guy's show, 100 hour and 20 minutes, no picks given. A lot of this is a very hard week. A lot of spreads are really tough this time of year.
Wait, that's my bit.
Yeah, he stole your bit, Ryan. Can you believe it's already week 16? He didn't say that, but
well, that's how you start the soliloquy.
Can you believe it's already week 16? A lot of weird lines. Well, Ryan, you called out the gambling gods, and now maybe they're making it more difficult here, making the lines tough to see.
It does seem like the kind of week you got to grip it and rip it. Would you
grip
agree?
It and rip it? Yeah, because so many times I feel like where I've gotten in trouble late in the year is you go, oh man, this team really needs it for a playoff.
Yeah.
And I think I've gotten in trouble when I start handicapping motivation. Like, oh, these guys, they want that 3 seed, or, oh, they really are playing hard for the 2 seed. It's either, to me, they're either playing their starters or they're not. And some teams are getting up for lame duck coaches. I think the Jaguars are one of those teams, so there's handicapping with inside that, but at the end of the day, this isn't the NBA. This isn't college football where half the guys are opting out. This is the National Football League. You're going in to the Coliseum and you either come home with your shield or you come home on your shield. That's what NFL Week 16 is about. There's people that are sitting there up in the sidelines going, I don't know if I want to do battle. I might not have an edge. Your edge is your heart. Your edge is your determination. That's my plus EV opportunity, wanting it more than these other fugazi handicappers out there who are afraid to give out picks. Yeah, perfect. It's lean season. Perfect time for some leans, Ryan. None of that here on the Sports Gambling Podcast. Let's go, baby.
How do you wrap a lean?
I don't know. I've never given one out.
You think Saint Nick would go around the?
You can't lean down a chimney. You fire. You jump down that chimney.
Very interesting stuff. All right, so since my opening bit was ruined,
okay,
we'll pivot to the next one, which is a lot of football weather. Sean, getting a lot of football between this and the college football playoff. Football weather week. This could be the most football weather weekend we've had in some time. Maybe
and this is
more than a year.
This is a great tease, a great reminder. Super Wild Card Weekend is right. The college football playoff quarterfinals run into Super Wild Card Weekend. So if you have job, loved ones,
let's just open
kids,
the calendar,
responsibilities, block off that entire chunk right now.
Pull over your car because you just want to X off some days. Just X them off. Just know you got football going on. I mean, I'm gonna add this to the calendar I share with my wife. Super Wild Card Weekend. She'll be like, "Why is this the entire day?" I don't know. Tell Roger Goodell I'm trying to eat for the family and for myself. Let's go. Well, also you're gonna want to make sure those Thursday and Friday are
big college football games.
It's you got to be delicate though. Like maybe try to squeeze in an afternoon early dinner. Maybe
my
a
wife's
brunch
gonna be
on
like,
Friday.
why is date night on Tuesday? Because it's a great time.
You know what I've done
to
recently?
Reconnect, sweetie.
I've actually talk about a life hack. The Friday before we leave for Vegas, breakfast as a replacement for
that's a good one.
Date. Yeah. Oh, massive, massive.
Massive plus EV.
Huge
opportunity.
Huge. Much easier than the slate this week. That's for sure.
Oh, well, Ryan, I'm not scared of the slate, and I know the audience is either.
See, saying something is complex, difficult, and also saying you're scared of it are two different things.
Okay.
Yes. I'm scared of the unknown.
All right. I don't know what
this football slate is known. I'm just saying it's a complex one. It's like one of those 5x5 Rubik's cubes.
There you go. It's like a difficult difficult puzzle we're going to be cracking.
That was the first.
I got a couple end pieces to get us started, Ryan. And you mentioned the college football playoff. Make sure, the corner pieces is where you start. Puzzle. People came for the puzzle talk. Sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CFP. Get in over there. $1,000 we're giving away. You're welcome, audience, and of course appreciate you guys. You support us, and we can support you with some free roll contest. $1,000 winner take all.
Oh my God.
Who's that thick motherfucker on this graphic?
That's Cam Scadaboo. Jake sent me he sent the graphic over and he's like, what is it missing? I go, I'll tell you what it's missing. Cam Scadaboo. We're not putting out a college football playoff challenge graphic. Sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CFP without a Cam Scadaboo graphic. They're going to be running the wild.
It's a pretty nice Cam Scadaboo graphic.
Ryan, you're getting some compliments on the where can I get the Let It Ride Christmas sweater? Yeah, available in the merch store. So make sure you hit that up. Promo code social, 10% off. Look at that thing, Ryan. You're killing it. I have my rituals. I got to rock the Hertz jersey for the NFL picks episode, but the holiday stuff, the reindeer doing cocaine, very fun.
Let me do the modeling again.
Okay. YouTube.com/sportsgambling podcast. Content creator Ryan Kramer.
Well, I always like when they give someone a football and they don't know what to do with the football. Like the ESPN chick.
The headshots of people don't know how to
and holds the football like this. Like that's what are you doing? No one's ever held a football like that.
No. Maybe we blame the photographer, but you got to know better. If they're making you hold a ball, you got to hold it right.
Yeah, I don't know. Football, it feels like we're almost playoff season. What if we want to just start having a catch during the show? We got to have the football in the studio.
Ball's ready. We're ready. Let's get to it. Thursday night football. Let's go, Kramer. Enough messing around.
And while I was going to ask you, Sean, so motivational, you said I'm just going to not try to handicap motivation. The one area we feel good about is the replacement head coach angle.
Okay, yeah.
Backup quarterback bump. Like there are some situations.
Motivation angles in the playoff and playoff seeding. I think like a team that's like, oh, they got to win to get into the playoffs, or they don't really need this for seeding. These guys are they're not bringing up the playoff simulator. They know either they have to win the game or they don't. If they don't have to win the game, their starters aren't in. But most of these guys, and the new coach theory, usually these guys are playing for their jobs. The backup quarterback bump. Usually it's a relief depending on the situation. So yeah, I do think there are motivational bumps, but if you're just looking at, this team needs it for the playoffs, this team's been eliminated, that's where you can really get boned.
I think it's the most obvious, everyone already knows angle. That's why. And I think it just becomes baked into whatever, not to be very cliche, but it becomes baked in to a point where it fails.
Yeah, you shouldn't be adding it into your handicapping is what I get at.
Some would say it's a reason to not play a game. Some would say.
Not me.
Us.
Not me. Let's
Thursday night, the Chargers, the Broncos. And by the way, there are a lot of those implications this week. So we will have to at least discuss motivation. Broncos, Chargers in Los Angeles, beautiful SoFi Stadium. It's open air. You can smell the ocean. Chargers now 2.5. I know there's some juice threes out there as well. This going off a true number here. -148 on the money line, +130 for your Broncos. Sean, you and the Believers will have a nice little vacay to it kind of feels like this is the time of year maybe you don't catch as many of the visiting fans. 41 is the total.
Well, I would have thought the Chargers would have had home field last week, but it seemed like the Bucs took over the place. And I think
is it possible that new Chargers fans are like, this season's going on really long?
I don't know. It felt like Harbaugh and the team had some momentum with the fan base, and then for the Bucs, a team that I never knew traveled. I don't know any Tampa Bay Buck transplants in the Southern California area for the most part. I know your wife is a Bucs fan, but Ryan, it's not like she was like dying. It's not, yeah. But were they at the game tailgating 8 hours before? Like, no. I don't think of the Bucs as a rabid fan base.
She would actually disagree with that statement in terms of living there, and
living there. They just don't strike me as a fan base you run into outside of the Florida area or travel. Like I've never seen guys. I mean, how many times do we go out to Vegas, Ryan, for NFL weeks? Yeah. Do you ever recall guys walking around in Bucs jerseys? Pretty not high on the totem pole.
Guys dressed up as pirates, but for different reasons.
Yeah, Raiders fans, sure. To me, what I like here, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, Sean Payton, and I mentioned it on the Thursday Night Props show. Check that out. Great appearance by Justin Decker as always.
Oh, I mean, the czar.
Sean Payton is 14-5 ATS in same season revenge games. I love that angle. I am on the Broncos. I understand that maybe the Chargers quote unquote need the game more, but I think the Broncos are going to feel like they need it pretty darn as well, because they came off a pretty ugly win for them. And this Chargers team, or this Broncos team, the horseshoe is just so far up their asshole. How could you go against this team? I mean, there was no way they should have covered against the Browns. They did. Remember that pick six? There was no way they should have covered against Jonathan Taylor. He drops the ball right on the 1 yard line.
Because what I watched last week, I mean, again, we watch a lot of football games. Not too many times in my memory do I have just watching a game and just the entire time my mind was telling me the Broncos are losing, and that they won that. It was a pleaser. So I understand.
But the game before was also a miraculous cover, and they should have lost or should have not covered that game as well.
Slightly different in my eyes, but
okay, sure, it's different. But what was the same is that they're covering in spots where you think they have no business covering. But you would agree that's correct.
Yeah, but that would, so maybe we're on two sides of this coin, but that makes me want.
You could look at it two different ways. You could say, oh, they're due for a collapse, or
not about being due, about being overvalued, because the scoreboard hasn't exactly matched the play-by-play output.
Oh, if they were favored, I would be on the Chargers here. To me, I think this is a fair number. And in particular, just based off the offense of this Chargers team, 3 games in a row, they have only scored 17 points. That coincides with losing Dobbins. They have not put up 20 points since losing J.K. Dobbins. He's a key part of that offense. You have Justin Herbert on a wounded ankle, playing on a short week against a Broncos team it's a pretty darn good defense. I think they're going to be able to maybe create some turnovers. Either way, I just don't see the Chargers putting up 20 points, and I think the Broncos can keep it a game. I get it. Harbaugh's good off a loss. I get that, but I mean, Bo Nix has been amazing covering spreads. That was his rookie complete bust game, and he still got the win and the cover. I think this Broncos defense knows how to slow down the Chargers. They have division revenge on their mind, and I think they probably get the win. But the 2.5 is nice, because this being a 21-20 game, 17-16, and the 2.5 or 3 points mattering, I could definitely see that happening. So I am going to take the Broncos and the points. And Ryan, as you always tell me, always take the 2.5, never lay.
It's true. I kind of was hoping this was going to be 3. Yeah, last year was the first time the Broncos beat the Chargers in LA since SoFi was created, but since 2019. So I think if anything, the Chargers have had the Broncos number in Los Angeles, and I think to highlight the reason for concern last week is I do think Bo Nix is turning into a pumpkin. Unfortunately, I think he's had a great rookie season.
I think that was just one game. He played pretty well against the Browns in the game before.
Some of the advanced numbers are trending in the wrong direction. Simple as that.
And I'm with Trevor. Pointing out, I mentioned on the Thursday Night Prop Show, a tie is totally due. This game ending in a tie and you getting the win with the +2.5. Bring it, baby.
I like the tie angle. I also like that angle because of I'm pretty sure the tie helps both teams. The Chargers are due a tie after that catastrophe a couple years back, but certainly from the perspective of if I'm just looking at this being okay, both teams have decent pass rush. I do think I like the Chargers offense better.
Chargers secondary being banged up made this decision even easier. Like Cortland Sutton is going to eat
I think Cortland Sutton could have a good game. To me, this is going to be a game.
I just don't see how the Chargers put up a lot of points, and they don't need a ton of points. But I think if you're talking about covering 2.5, I think you need to at least get to 24, and I don't see it.
I think they're gonna. I do think they're gonna be able to run it on them a little bit, and I think
they haven't been able to run the ball without Dobbins. Would be my concern.
Okay.
How do you see the score shaking out? I'll call my shot. 17-17 tie. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I did spend a little bit of time breaking down, what are now key numbers in National Football League because I thought this might be an alt under. Took the alt under 34.5 because I do think it's going to be a lower scoring game. So your 17-17 gets us there with a hit landing right on the key number of 34. But I would even go lower than that. I would even, maybe this is a 17-14 feels about right.
Okay, so you're covering by the half point, the hook.
Yeah,
all right.
I mean, you said it. It feels like a field goal game. I kind of agree with you. Let's head over to Saturday. Why are they playing Saturday, you ask? And more importantly, why are they playing at the exact same time as the college football playoff? Great question. Well, the NFL doesn't. You
got to get ready for Christmas Day games.
The NFL doesn't give a fuck about your college football playoff, and they need to set this up because guess what? They got Netflix games coming up, and so they need to get the Chiefs, Steelers, Ravens, and Texans playing early. And we got Houston at Kansas City. Where everyone's acting surprised. Like Patrick Mahomes hasn't played through this exact same injury report. -3.5, -175 on the money line. 41.5 is the total. The drama around the number swinging over to 2.5 with the news that, we had this conversation on the recap show, Sean. We said that number means they think Mahomes is going to miss the game. Then what? Full practice and walkthrough. Full practice on Wednesday.
But Ryan, it's a high ankle sprain. Will our hero Patrick Mahomes be able to power through this twisted ankle? Oh, he's hobbling. He's gutting it out. Oh, it wasn't hard enough, but he did it. He's out on the field. Our hero is alive, Ryan. No, and I'm particularly aware of it because there have been all these cut-ups of Mahomes limping around in the Super Bowl against the Eagles, and then the next play scrambling for 35 yards. So I'm not going to say he's built for the NBA, but there's a little bit of maybe acting there. And I'm mad I didn't snatch the +2 because I probably would have liked it with Wentz. I thought. And I misread the situation. I thought, okay, when they announced Wentz in, we'll get the 3.5. I got greedy. Should have taken the 2. I did fire.
Well, we were right also.
Yeah, I did fire at 2.5 once it really started moving. 2.5, like -125. I still like it here at -3.5. And again, it really doesn't have that much to do with Patrick Mahomes, which is crazy. It has to do with this Chiefs defense against this Texans offense. This Texans offense looks really bad. Ryan, you were on it preseason about CJ Stroud's sophomore slump, and
feel good about that.
Yeah,
that
they don't have a step. Yeah, probably our best prediction from the AFC South. They don't have Stephon Diggs, and maybe that's their excuse, but you should be able to get more out of this offense, especially with Joe Mixon. And this Bobby Slowick offense is very predictable. They run, And you can't do that against the Chiefs. You need to attack them on first down and passing the ball. You need to spread the field. You need to attack with the tight end. The Texans haven't been using Dalton Schultz much, and that's really what you need to have cooking if you're going up against the Chiefs. So I think it's just going to be a lot of 3rd and longs for CJ Stroud. I mean, whatever the Texans team total points are, take the under. This Chiefs defense is going to be up for this game, and the Texans are also playing on Christmas Day. All the Saturday teams are playing on Saturday and Christmas Day as well. Steelers are playing the Chiefs, and then Ravens are playing the Texans. And I mean, which coaching staff do you think is better suited for that situation? To me, it's Andy Reid all day.
He's better on long rest.
Yeah, and I'm just saying, I there's just so much going on here. I think Mahomes will be close enough to what he needs to get this done. And Pacheco is kind of hitting his stride. They're getting Hollywood Brown back. I can't bet on CJ Stroud. So if you want to take the 3.5, God bless you. I'll take KC laying it all day.
No, I'm going to lay it. And I think you also need to look at Spags' scheme versus the Shanahan scheme. He for the most part, the Shanahan scheme has not done a lot to him. And so now you look at a wounded, Bobby Slowick, CJ Stroud version that can't really run the rock, can't really can't really scare you down the field. I think the version of this game where we get destroyed is if Nico Collins and someone else has a huge game through the air, which just seems so unlikely. Whatever has happened to that Mixon running game, it's fallen off the tracks. And as you mentioned, we've seen Mahomes do this before. Maybe he's just tough. Maybe that's one of the things that makes him great. It's annoying, but maybe he's just tougher than these other quarterbacks.
Shout out to my cousin Nick. Shout out to cousin Nick in the chat. Good to hear from you, Ryan. I'm in
a real cousin.
Yeah, actual cousin.
Interesting.
Not like Anthony Gargano, Philly talk legend who goes, "Yo, cuz." Actual Philly cousin. He wants to know Mahomes or Stafford in your fantasy playoffs. I think you have to take Stafford, and we'll get to it when we talk about that game. But I mean, the Rams receivers are going to eat against that Jets secondary. I don't know what Mahomes does, and I wouldn't be surprised if they really lean on Pacheco. So I would 100% go Stafford.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would probably be informed by weather for me.
Really?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, Rams aren't great outdoors.
Mahomes getting Hollywood Brown back, maybe the offense.
But also, what's interesting about Mahomes is you get those scampers. You get maybe, you get those 3rd and longs where he picks up 15, 20 yards rushing. And I don't know if those will be there with the ankle. I still think he'll be fine, but he probably won't be running as much. So I like Stafford. What are you doing, Ryan? Stafford or Mahomes?
Mahomes. I think there's a Mahomes like we're talking about severe hero stuff. After
that
game.
Always is in the realm of possibility.
300 yards
and the Texans
touchdowns.
Defense has not been good this year, especially on the road outdoors. So
well, and I just think that I want they just don't what they can do Stingley and what they do great on the back end is, and Stingley's not even playing as well. It just doesn't match up well against what the Chiefs are going to do to you. All right, Saturday, and that was 10 a.m. on Saturday. By the way, BTW again at the same time as the college football playoff, as Colby was chuckling, being played on TNT and Max.
FCS games also going on, but they're on ABC.
That's on ABC. But we got an afternoon game, 1:30 p.m. on the West Coast. The Baltimore Ravens hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers, Sean. You wouldn't believe it. Back-to-back weeks, they're catching a big number. This week, it's 6.5 plus 248 on the money line, minus 290 for the Ravens. 45 is the total. Steelers are on a back-to-back road spot here, and obviously they're both looking ahead to their Christmas games, their Wednesday Christmas games on Netflix.
But I don't even know if it is much of a look-ahead spot for Steelers or Ravens, because to me it's, hey, we win this game. You got a great chance to win the AFC North. Yes. We had Steelers winning the AFC North, Ryan, one of our better preseason predictions, smashing this. I mean, there were they were noted people saying, oh, this is going to be Tomlin's first losing season. Not so fast. This is a smash spot as always for Tomlin. Tomlin has a dog with TJ Watt when not playing the Eagles. I forgot that to mention that caveat earlier on the season. Is a great play. And I do think TJ Watt is going to play. He was getting a limited practice in. That's good enough for TJ Watt. Don't feel as confident about George Pickens. And yeah, you will miss maybe some of the explosive plays, but you don't need explosive plays to cover 6.5 in the Steelers Ravens game. Did you watch the last game? It was 18-16. And a big reason why they struggled, the Ravens struggled then, is why they might struggle now in a close game. Justin Tucker has hit the wall. He's 4 of 8 for his last 8 field goals. Do you trust him to cover a 6.5?
I just love that you have his numbers.
Oh, of course I'm looking
perfectly.
Of course I'm looking at stats, and
it just shows me the level of engagement you are at with him.
The underdog trends and just in general are just so strong. As an underdog of 4 points or more versus the Ravens, Steelers are 8-0 ATS in franchise history. They own Lamar. If you know how to play Lamar, you can beat Lamar. That's why he does bad in the playoffs. Lamar is 1-4 straight up, 0-5 ATS versus Mike Tomlin and the Steelers. Here's another one. In the regular season, when the line is 3 or more points, the underdog 23-4-3 ATS. You can set your watch to this anytime AFC North dogs are over 3, at least in the Steelers Ravens, especially. You got to make some exceptions, and we'll get to those probably later. But and this one too, Mike Tomlin after a loss, he's great, 57.8 ATS. When he's an underdog after a loss, 24-11 ATS, including 10-3 ATS versus the divisional opponent.
Yeah, but it's different this year, Sean. This Ravens team's better, and the Steelers team's not as good, right? It's not like they haven't already played a game to a 2-point outcome.
And Russ did a very good job spreading the ball against this Ravens defense. In that first game, you say, "Oh, Pickens is out." Yeah, obviously, I like the Steelers better if Pickens is playing, but he completed 8 pass to 8 different receivers. 8 different receivers in the Steelers passing game. This Ravens defense is not that elite unit that people previously thought it was. I think at the very least, this is a game. I just don't see this Pittsburgh team going quietly into the night here and letting the Ravens cover the 6.5.
Were we ever gonna find ourselves on Baltimore here?
No, I think the case for Baltimore is, hey, this is a division in season revenge game. Like I okay, fine. Lamar obviously better quarterback, Derrick Henry, but like it plays into a lot of the strengths of the Steelers. Now, if TJ Watt somehow doesn't play, I think he will play. Again, don't like it as much, but if they would have to move the line above 7, I think if TJ Watt doesn't play.
It sounds like TJ Watt is going to play.
Yeah.
It sounds like Pickens has a chance to go, but I kind of wouldn't count on that. So, I mean, Baltimore, one of the worst teams in the league, giving up passes to the deep middle of the field. If it's not going to be Pickens, who's it going to be? Do we see a Mike? I mean, we have to identify the person who's going to score the 2 deep touchdowns against this defense, because that is how you beat him. You beat him deep.
Well, and Calvin Austin has shown some moments.
I don't think it will be Pickens even if he plays, because it's a hamstring injury.
No,
so we need to identify.
Maybe Calvin Austin gets deep.
Is this a Mike Williams gets
Mike
2
Williams
tutties?
Long reception?
We'll have to identify. But yeah,
I don't know if I'd bet on anyone catching 2 touchdown passes in this game, because I fell for it last time where I'm like, the offense is going to get loose. And then as soon as you watch the game, you're like, oh, this is, and it's always going to be a weird score. It'll be 21-19. It's something.
The knowing how to play Lamar is the key aspect.
22, 22, 24, something like that.
Yeah. I'll make an even more specific prediction. We're going to see in key moments in the game, Lamar forced into rolling out to his left and just making bad plays. That's what they know about him. They know exactly. And guess what? What did he do a lot last week against the Giants in a game where he didn't need to? run a lot for some reason. So I think he's
his mom told him.
I think Lamar is going to fall into a trap that the Steelers don't even need to set for him.
And I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan, but I don't think Highsmith played in that first Ravens game. And he's he's not TJ Watt, but he's quietly a guy that if he's out, it doesn't impact the spread, but it should.
Oh, look at I believe I don't have the numbers, but I believe the splits on the run defense specifically are not very good with him out. Yeah, of course we're taking Pittsburgh plus 6.5.
And Derrick Henry kind of maybe hitting a wall here late in the season. Didn't do much against the Giants.
You know, he's like the sports car that the guy had on your block. He brings it out once in a while,
only warm
saving
weather
it for the weekend.
Yeah, he's got the tarp on it now in December. Hey, have you signed up with my bookie? If not, what are you waiting for? Toss us a bone and toss yourself a nice bone in the form of a sweet 100% match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply, so make sure you read those on the rollover. MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN. You get that lightning fast crypto withdrawal, the prop builder, second to none. So fun. I was thinking around in the prop builder. I mean, you really can get lost in there, and some very generous odds on some 2-3 touchdown stuff. Very fun. Love my bookie. They've been good to us over the years. MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN. Get signed up. Get started today. And we're also brought to you by Rebet. Rebet, a new take on the sportsbook experience. If you're in one of the 45 states that Rebet is active in, what are you waiting for? Open up the App Store, type in Rebet, get a 100% deposit match up to $100 when you use the promo code SGPN. That's Rebet, 100% deposit match up to $100. Promo code SGPN.
The chat's lively for a 10:16 p.m. on the West Coast.
Late kickoff, but chat is getting after it.
All right, let's head over. So that was one on Thursday, 2 on Saturday, Sean. Now we're heading over to Sunday, where
my wife loves this. The more days that are like clogged up with football, she loves it.
Hold on, it's like we'll probably be arriving home on Saturday around 8:30, 9 a.m. just in time to turn the TV back on, watch some football.
Sorry, I was out talking about football, watching football. Now I come back from Vegas. Sorry, can't talk. Got more football.
Got to go to work.
Put in another 6-9 hour day and then go. All right. Well, then obviously Sunday's a big day.
Yeah, big day. 7 games in the early window, Sean. Another perfect day for God's eye. Game number 1, Cleveland, Cincinnati, the Bengals are no surprise here, catching a lot of the bets, 79%, as they're laying 7.5 minus 373 on the money line. Browns plus 215, 47 is the total. All right. So Jameis has been put down. They drove him up to the farm, dug a hole and put him in it. And now
the horses are ready for battle. Only the Lord determines the outcome.
Yeah, unfortunately, now we have DTR, and how the fuck is DTR going to keep up in a shootout with Joe Burrow, fucking
angry Joe Burrow,
swinging rock hard like he's taking a couple of the blue pills,
just super annoyed that everyone's in his business, riding the Batmobile to the stadium, just hopping out with his frosted tips, ready to shred this Browns defense. Ryan, DTR, and I heard a couple different outlets report this, 48th. Out of 49 quarterbacks in EPA, guess who was 49th? It was like
EPA
over the
per drop back, or
whatever. I mean,
okay, got it.
The last couple of years, 2 years.
Okay,
probably. I'll give you a hint. He's playing for the Calgary Stampeders. You once had a item of clothing from his team. That should be close.
I got it. PJ Walker.
PJ Walker. Yeah. You're right. PJ Walker, another Browns
USFL legend,
another Browns quarterback. So maybe Stefanski not coach of the year material.
Is PJ Walker on the Stampeders this year?
Yeah. Shout out to the legend. So the Jameis dream is dead. Nick Chubb done for the season. Now,
although Ford looked like he had some pop.
He
compared to Chubb.
I mean, since Chubb's come back, I think Ford has been the better running back. I don't even think that was a controversial take.
Yeah,
just kind of, I had it here in my notes. Bengals defense, they were able to take advantage of a quarterback like Will Levis, like Mason Rudolph, that was prone to turnovers. Like this Bengals defense, not good by any means, but if you're a bad quarterback, they can turn you over here a little bit. But just let's look at DTR's. He's had 3 previous starts, combined 28 points, 12, 13, and 3.
One is against this Bengals team, I believe.
No, because he didn't. That one he didn't start. He came in for that game and he threw 2 interceptions earlier in the year.
Got it.
But they did end up scoring 14 in that game. But I don't think.
Wait, so that was a Watson. Touchdown. That was a Watson game.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. No, that's right. He wouldn't have started for sure, but he definitely played a bunch.
Yeah, no, he got like 20 attempts.
Because I was furious. I'm like, why the fuck are they not putting Jameis out there?
So he was 11.
Jameis is the 3rd emergency quarterback. What are we doing?
Yeah, I'll pull up the numbers, but I think, yeah. So Deshaun Watson started, went 15 for 27, and I'm pretty sure that was the last we saw of him. And then DTR came in, went 11 for 24, 82 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And Jameis was in there. I think Jameis.
He got hurt. DTR got hurt in that game.
Okay, that's right. Because
Jameis had to come in.
Jameis was 5 for 11, had a passing touchdown. Yeah, that was.
Imagine being a Browns fan. Jesus Christ.
You know what it was? Because now I'm remembering. The receiving touchdown went to David Njoku, and when it happened, we're like, oh, Jameis is back in. The Njoku stuff is live again. So. Yeah, DTR was the middle. It's like a Russian nesting doll of shitty Browns quarterbacks.
How dare you.
And it's like the big one's Deshaun Watson, inside's DTR, and then the tiny one is Jameis.
Jameis is the biggest one, for the record.
It's crazy to lay 7.5 with this Bengals team, but I'm doing it.
No, it's not.
I mean, DTR, they get to 10, 15 points, and Cincinnati, this Browns defense on the road, they can shred them.
Yeah, the counter argument is without the interceptions and the fumble on the punt return last week, they probably play with the Chiefs in a game. That's the counter argument.
Sure, but
I'm kind of.
Jameis was part. I don't know. Jameis was part of that, and they didn't do anything on offense. To me, that's the bigger thing.
Yeah, I think they've just lost all the upside of the offense. So, since he at no point in this game will Cincy think that they're out of it yet. So we'll just continue to smash Cincinnati.
Yeah, and I do think I don't even have the incentive numbers, but I do think Joe Burrow is certainly motivated to light up the numbers, get T Higgins going, get Jamar Chase going, get his guys paid, and rack up their numbers.
Yeah. Also, he's just putting up fucking sick numbers. So he's gonna. I mean, he's legit just playing mad,
and he hates his coach. And also, I will say, Chase Brown has been playing really well in this little bit of a run.
I mean, speaking of Canada, great segue there. From the CFL to Chase Brown's Canadian, right?
Yes.
Okay, of course you did.
What was his he has what's his Canadian, doesn't he have a Canadian nickname?
Oh, I don't know. Does he?
I'll look it up.
That's something the internet can help you with. All right, next up, game number 2 in the early window, little division game that we kind of hypothesized, Sean, that this could be a spicy matchup if Detroit did lose to the Bills. Well, they lost. And now they're 6.5 point road favorites, -300 on the money line in Chicago, outside the one game when we previewed this team where we said this is the spot where you circle and we wonder if Jared Goff can get it done. He did get it done in the weather spot earlier in the year. Bears plus 256, 48 is the total. Again, 91% of the bets on Detroit as the Bears are on a short week.
God, the Bears are just such an annoying team to lose money on. Like
watching that Monday night performance, it's just like fuck you.
So
fuck annoying. You like fuck with a Q, like a big Q. Like fuck you.
Yeah, Thomas Brown clearly in over his head. But then, and I'm sure we'll be talking about Caleb Williams rushing yards, especially with like the interior, the D line, the linebacker injuries, and the Aaron Glenn defense. He's gonna have free reign to run. Everyone's calling out Caleb Williams. Maybe this is the get up spot. Did you? I assume you saw that call in of Dan Campbell to the radio show. He's like, "Oh, I just want you to know that we are ready, and every guy we lose, it doesn't matter, makes us stronger. If we give up 700 yards and we win by 1 point, I'm smiling. If we get 2 yards and we win by 1 point, I'm smiling. And we are not done. We are ready. This makes us stronger, men. He got me fired up.
I will say, the thing that resonated with me is he goes, "We're not going to win 11 games in a row again this season. That's over."
Yeah.
It's like, that's actually a great point. And I don't know. I get
but he also kept highlighting how if they only win by 1 point, he's totally happy, which makes me wonder about Jared Goff outdoors.
Laying 6.5 points.
Yeah. Like I don't think the Bears are live. I mean, Thomas Brown seems in over his head. Ryan, do you know who the Bears offensive coordinator is?
Thomas Brown.
No one, but yes. They didn't give him any sort of help in the OC position. It's just like no one.
Oh, this would be a classic if the roles were reversed right now between me and you. You'd be like, yeah, that's what I was saying the entire time.
Yeah, I've complimented you and said you were right on Thomas Brown when they lost to the 49ers. Somehow we didn't go back to that point when we both picked him, Ryan.
Well, the close your eyes special.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what to think about this game, because when you watch the last game doesn't feel like it's a representation that you can even look at. And I wonder if the Bears will just be the rag doll that has to take the whooping, because this team is still really, really strong on the offensive line. They're going to be able to run the ball here, and they're going against Caleb Williams. For as much as they've lost, they're still going to be able to bait him into mistakes.
Yeah. And the Lions are very good. 9-1 ATS off a loss, I think, in the Dan Campbell era.
And Goff looked pretty good in Green Bay. Like, let's not forget when he went to Green Bay and everyone's like, "Oh, outside, colder than 40."
Lions have covered 9 straight after a loss, dating back to 2022. This is a great nugget I came across, Ryan, on social media. The Bears have not won a game since Jay Cutler got arrested. Little nugget there, which feels like a really long time ago. And it was. Jay Cutler got arrested 61 days ago. Last Bear win 66 days ago.
You think he has some sort of involvement here?
I mean, a curse? He was the last good Bears quarterback. Now we'll see what the Caleb Williams
statement.
I mean, who has been a good quarterback since?
Jordan Love was on his way. Or sorry, Justin Fields was on his way.
I mean, his numbers are similar to Caleb Williams.
Some would say better.
So what are you doing, Ryan? Are you taking Detroit laying the 6.5, a dome team outdoors? Now they are coming off a bye, or are you taking the Bears?
I think there's a real possibility that there's no real coaching in the room, and how do you bounce back if you have no one leading? How does that happen? If you have rot in the locker room and this divide is there, as people have been reporting for weeks, then you have a guy who's in over his head. He had a nice little offensive bump, but that's gone away. The offense looks chaotic. Caleb Williams looks, every time he's he rarely looks calm and composed.
Yeah. All right. I'll take the Lions. I'm worried about this Lions defense.
This falls into the category of one of the games where it's just like, what the fuck are you supposed to do with this?
I think if you're laying the 6.5 with Detroit, you may want to just take the Lions team total over as like a way to play it as well, because
I'm playing the money line. I'm going to be rolling out a money line parlay this week, like a real donkey. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Well, because
I do worry the back door is open with Chicago, and it was open in Minnesota if they didn't completely mess up some really easy opportunities.
I guess, yeah.
But it's tough to trust them as well. I don't feel great about either side.
Yeah. This is our donkey play of the week. Next up, game number 3 in the early slate. My Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals head to Carolina to play on the long turf that just took down Jonathan Brooks and his recently repaired ACL. Should have never had him out there. Cardinals laying 4.5 here, -220 on the money line, +192 for the Panthers. 47 is the total. And Cardinals are the public side, catching 78% of the bets, Sean. And I'm coming off a week where I regretfully locked up the Panthers.
Oh no,
won't be doing that again.
Oh no.
But so another rock hard place game for me, because the Cardinals are clearly sliding down very slippery slope. Maybe it's the hill that Jay Leno tumbled down. And
they stopped asking questions about Jay Leno as soon as those drones appeared. The conspiracy theorists stopped looking into Jay Leno.
Aliens are a showstopper. Carolina, Sean. Look, that this game terrified. Like, what the fuck are the Cardinals laying 4.5 points on the road right now?
Well, Trevor, who's a Cardinals fan, says it's a disrespectful line.
Really? Oh, okay. Talk me into it, Trevor. Because here's what I'm worried about. This offense has looked like absolute, and Kyler Murray have looked like relative dog shit. Basically, since what, week 6?
And it was, they took care of business against the Pats, but was that like a dominating win?
Pats suck. Talk about teams with coaching staffs that are, reports of infighting amongst coaches. Like, that's not good. So yeah, I'm not taking anything from the Cardinals' ability to beat the Patriots. Nothing. But I still like the Cardinals. They're still in the playoff race. This is, if they get this win, they're still live to cash my division ticket, Sean. I mean, no one in the West is good. I totally would understand. Like, it would be very hard for me to debate like which team is the best team in the West and it not be the Rams, just because of the star power. I just think playoffs.
Yeah,
we get into a playoff situation.
Rams are the only team that has any legit playoff success.
Who has a chance to win the second game? Right, like
the Rams.
They're hosting a game first, but who could actually go and win a second game? It's only the Rams.
Well, Ryan, did you see the Kyler press conference?
I did not. No, I'm usually dialed into the press conferences. What happened?
Okay, well, I'll pull it up here in a second, but
is it like a quote or is it a look?
Well, actually, I would say it's kind of both.
Oh wow.
It's both a quote and a look. Yeah, I mean,
is he back on the sauce?
No, it's not that. It's a weather thing actually, Ryan, and we'll take a listen here. Hopefully the audio comes through good enough. But this is Kyler Murray getting asked about the temperature in the playoff game against the Panthers.
No, I mean, I've played in cold weather before. It's not I don't know how cold it's supposed to be. 35. Yeah. Shit.
So he goes, "How cold's it supposed to be?" And the guy goes, 35. He goes, "Ah, shit."
That's a pretty good response.
He's scared about 35 degrees, Ryan. Now, is that winning your? To me, it's less about Kyler Murray. It's more about James Conner.
Do the Panthers strike you as a cold weather team?
Bryce Young
could get broken in half. Like
Bryce Young's going to be wearing the Mac Jones scuba suit. And did Kyler promised on his Instagram that Trey McBride would find the end zone soon?
So what a teaser! It's like a choose your own adventure.
But I can also just see Adam Thielen getting a bunch of bullshit across the middle and racking up some. And I think honestly, weirdly, it was a dream crusher game for the Panthers, right?
Yeah,
they hung around against the Chiefs. They hung around against the Eagles. There was a lot of like, "Hey, Bryce is good, man. We're favorites." They saw that, and then they just got their ass kicked. And
I don't mind this take.
I think it's a dream crusher game because they didn't compete as favorites. Give me the Arizona Cardinals laying 4.5. Chalky as hell.
This does feel like a nice, hey, gambling gods, I see what you're doing. Throw the head fake and then head to the sideline, beat him to the. I hate this, just like I hated Detroit. As I was breaking this down, I was like, well, I'm sure Sean will have some good reasons why we should take the Panthers this week. Nope.
No, I
can't do it.
The dream crusher angle that I concocted. Well, the only reason you take the Panthers is because Xavier Leggette's on their team. That guy's awesome. So, yeah, that's my only reason.
Hey, you don't have to sell me on rooting for my plus 1375 division ticket. Let's go. I'm just gonna get disappointed. But yeah, I mean, if Kyler and Bryce Young were doing an Oklahoma drill, who wins? Kyler, right?
Kyler, because he's stocky.
Yeah, he'll handle the cold fine. Although he's going to look funny in a wetsuit too. Game number 4 in the early window, Sean. A little NFC East rivalry here. Your Philadelphia Eagles head down to the nation's capital, or Landover, Maryland, to take on the Washington Redskin Commander football team. Commanders catching 3.5 at home, plus 160 on the money line. 45.5 is the total. Obviously, the public's on the Eagles. As the kids say, they've been a wagon. 79% of the bets joining you, Sean, laying the number with the Eagles here. All right, so it's a
13-2. That's the Eagles record, right?
Did I have a typo?
No, I just want to make sure everyone realizes how fucking good this team is.
Okay.
Awesome offense, awesome defense.
You're right. They're not being given enough respect.
100%.
That's what it is. And that's what's wrong with this team. No, they're mad about respect.
I mean, I know you're trying to troll or whatever, but this team has a massive chip on their shoulder. They're hungry, they're focused, they're locked in. And maybe you could say like, oh, hey, all the drama. And then they rose to the occasion. They took care of business. Hurts in the passing game was clicking. The defense continues to play at historic levels. Historically good defense. Vic Fangio, if they could give coach of the year to an assistant coach, they should give it to Vic Fangio. He has revitalized this defense. Guys like Nolan Smith, which I thought was a bust, is having like a Pro Bowl year. Quinyon Mitchell is currently the odds-on leader to win a defensive rookie of the year. Cooper DeJean has had an amazing year. Darius Slay, still like very productive this late in his career. Jalex Hunt has been an awesome deep draft pick that's getting a legit pass rush. So the defense is amazing. And this Redskins offense is kind of cooled down. You saw it with the Cliff, which people were joking about. Is it real or not? Losing outright to the Cowboys. Maybe the win over the Titans threw people off the scent. They haven't really played up that well against competition. Now it is the NFC East. These games do end up being competitive. AJ Brown did tweak his ankle a little bit. I think he will make it a go there.
Wait, so he's going to be able to play?
I mean, he's not on the injury report. So
no, it just seemed like it was going to be bad.
I know that's what you were rooting for.
No,
Ryan.
I'm being dead serious. Like that it was. It seemed like that was a textbook hip drop tackle.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure you're hoping they would call the first one in the league for. But it seemed like he was going to miss some time just watching that happen in real time.
Yeah, no, Saquon, a lot of the offensive linemen. I
am on record
dealing with rest day.
Saquon not good at playing through injuries. So now that he has an injury, good luck with that.
Okay. Well, again, Saquon also having a historic season. Here's the list of defenses to allow 2,500 pass yards or less and 1,500 rush yards or less through 14 games since 2010. 2024 Eagles, 2023 Browns, 2019 Patriots, 2013 Seahawks, and the 2010 Chargers. So here's hoping they're like the 2013 Seahawks that won the Super Bowl.
How many of those teams had success?
Patriots and Seahawks.
Okay.
But again, this Eagles team has dominated Washington 12-3 straight up last 15. And maybe you could talk me into, this could be a letdown game. You had a big win over the Steelers, but you win this game, you win the NFC East. And I know that locker room was pissed that they fumbled away the NFC East title last year. I think they're going to get up for this, close them out in dramatic fashion. Birds get the win and the cover.
You didn't talk much about Kingsbury and how that offense. We watched that game and just everything is to the sideline.
Yeah,
everything
horizontal,
which is not the way you want to attack this defense. I don't.
With these cornerbacks, I mean, Quinyon Mitchell shut down Terry McLaurin last time they played. I think they know how to play this Washington offense. And did you see anything great out of the Washington offense lately? And I know
well, like I said, I watched them last week and it was just incredible how much of everything is horizontal. I mean, I get it. This is the downfall of the air raid, I guess, at the NFL level. You're using the full width of the field and it's just like, stop doing that. There needs to be more vertical stuff. So yeah, that would be my critique of the offense right now, and I think this is a tremendously bad matchup. Eagles are a little worried. I mean, we'll see if Saquon can get through the injury here, but lay it with the Eagles on the road. Game number 5.
Let's go
in the early window. And yeah, by the way, you were right. Like, I feel like I hear a lot of people say that the Skins play the Eagles close a lot, but if you go review the tape on that, it's not really been the case a ton. Recently,
no, some of Devonta Smith's best games, Jalen Hurts' best games have come against Washington.
And yeah, it just seems like they're going to be able to pound the rock and lean. All right, game number 5, Giants Falcons, were the Michael Penix experience starts. He's a lefty, Sean, so it's gonna look. It's gonna look bad. So just just get ready for it because he's gonna drop back.
Could it look worse than?
He's got a similar slow release to Tua too. I think you're gonna have very quick like. Whoa, this I don't know if this is an NFL guy. Plus 8.5 for the Giants against a rookie. Here in Atlanta, plus 340 on the money line.
It's been a historic Giants season.
-4.
Not only were they 16.5 point home dogs, but now they're catching 8.5 against a quarterback in his rookie year, making his first start. And it's not like the Falcons were good before he came on.
This is obviously a
6.5 was the highest I could find.
So here's what
Lamar
I would say.
in 2018 filling in on a good Ravens team. Jim Everett back in '86.
So here's how I would handicap the situation. If, like, for whatever reason, Tim Boyle gave this team more pop than they've had with any of their quarterbacks this season, and that would the secondary for the Falcons is not very good. On the flip side, what if
Tim Boyle on the road and he has
again? He at least was throwing the ball up so Malik Neighbors could go up.
This probably sounds like a troll, but he's been the best Giants quarterback passing.
I just said
season.
That. You
didn't say he was the best.
I said he's brought the most pop for the entire season, and I think on the other side. So, what if the scenario I understand Kirk Cousins forced their hand. He's been playing so bad.
Yeah.
But what if they decide they weren't playing him because he wasn't ready? I mean, again, he was in college with an offensive line that basically played like a ton of continuity, 5th and 6th year guys, 3 NFL wide receivers. Is there a chance Michael Penix just isn't ready and they've been forced into it and he's going to look like hot garbage?
Yeah,
he's laying 8.5 points.
Yeah,
people are like, yeah, he's got all these weapons. It's going to be amazing.
No, I think he's a
lefty. He's going to look bad aesthetically.
I think he could look really bad, and they could win and cover this game.
Just run the ball.
Yeah, I mean, he can hand it off to Bijan Robinson. They can put up 20 points against a Giants team that doesn't want to play for their coach, and you can win by 10 points. I mean, the Giants are historically bad as an NFL team.
I don't care. We have no idea what Michael Penix is. He's only replacing Kirk. They just said like days ago. This is very much like an ownership stepped in situation. They said Kirk Cousins is going to be our guy.
Yeah, they're lying.
Well, yeah, but doesn't that give you any pause that Penix isn't?
So you're saying I should be worried about laying 8.5 points with a guy making his first NFL start?
You shouldn't do that.
No, I know I shouldn't do that, but you also shouldn't bet on the Giants. When was the last time they
just covered against the Saints? What are you talking about? They almost backdoored the Ravens game.
Okay.
I'm just saying you're acting like they're not even coming close to covering. They literally in a spot where they did not need to win the game, weren't playing for their coach, planes flying over the stadium.
Yeah, you're right.
They got the cover.
Maybe this is a get up spot because
they're away from the stadium.
No plane messages can be flown over the Atlanta because they're in a dome.
And I don't know if this is like perhaps just anecdotal, but the Giants don't generally lose to the Falcons.
Giants are better on the road. 8.5 is crazy.
You all right? Are you gonna lay it?
I'll take the Giants, but I'm gonna root for the Falcons. Falcons great teaser leg.
Yeah.
This is just such a dumb game.
All right.
I'll take the 8.5 points.
Again,
for you, Ryan. It's my holiday gift.
Why
to
are you taking the? I mean, don't gift it.
No,
for me.
It's a holiday gift.
Your EV is your EV. My EV is my EV. It's insane to lay 8.5 with the Falcons in this spot. Coming off Monday Night Football.
I think the line is telling you something, Ryan.
Tennessee, Indy, little AFC South battle here. Game number 6 in the early window. Colts laying 3.5 -190 on the money line, +168 for the Titans. 42.5 is the total. We used to say the Colts had a horseshoe up their ass when Luck was the quarterback.
Yep.
Seems like that horseshoe was transported from their ass into the Broncos' ass last week. Again, another rock hard play situation. What am I supposed to do here?
Oh, this to me is pretty obvious play on the Colts.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me more, because that was not the obvious play for me.
Oh, I mean, Mason Rudolph on the road, want no part of that. We saw what the Colts can do, turning the ball over or like creating turnovers. I think the defense for the Colts is, let's say, somewhat underrated. Like if you look at their stats and what they're actually able to do, I don't think the Titans have any sort of linebackers that can slow down Anthony Richardson in the running game. Jonathan Taylor was legit pissed off after, he was super embarrassed, as he should be. The guy had a massive chip on his shoulder.
Knocked him out of the playoffs. Dream crusher.
No, this team I think is still somewhat fired up.
Maybe not playing for their coach.
I don't know. That to me wasn't like an effort thing. But maybe.
I think Shane Steichen could be fired this offseason.
That's certainly possible. I mean, who knows with Irsay? I mean,
I've just read some stuff that suggests that maybe the locker room isn't hunky dory as. Yeah.
Again, this to me is not like I'm super excited about the Colts.
They're playing the wrong quarterback.
They are facing a Titans team, which is horrible. And Mason Rudolph on the road. Mason Rudolph was struggling against the Bengals defense at home. They have no. They have
but
no.
That was in relief.
Okay.
He gets the whole week of starting reps.
Yeah, I don't.
He's been better than Will Levis every time he's had the week. When he's had the prep time, yeah.
What starts was he? Did he look good at?
Let's pull it up. See, you're doing that. You're putting words in my mouth. I said looked better than Will Levis.
No.
And then you said which starts did he look good? I'm not suggesting he's
okay. Which
good.
starts did he look better than Will Levis?
Let's pull it up. Who did he start against? Let's go here.
He started against the Lions, lost 52-14.
Okay, that the Lions were crushing people at that point.
Okay, lost against the Bills, 34-10. They lost to the. They did beat the Patriots in overtime.
But these are numbers that are better than what I would argue that the last two games were arguably better than what we've seen from Will Levis.
Sure.
So
I think he's better
a little
than,
bump
I think
there.
he's better than Will Levis, but he's still bad. Love the Colts here.
Okay. Yeah, I think I watched a team lose a game.
I'm just laughing because every time I'm
out on this. I can't do it.
spit the Kool-Aid out, and
I don't
said
want either team.
No more Titans. And you, week after week after week after week, you're still trying to talk yourself into the Titans.
Yeah, this Colts team. Did you watch the game last?
Yeah,
week?
and I also watched the Titans. I watched the Titans. I mean, the Titans should have lost by more if the Bengals guy didn't drop the.
Now they're starting Mason Rudolph,
who also looked bad
practice.
And threw interceptions.
All right, give me Tennessee. Game 7.
Taking the 3.5. You come up with all these rules and then you don't listen to yourself.
They're not real rules, and it's week 16.
Never taken the Titans.
It's week 16. It's very hard. It's very difficult.
Okay.
Game 7 in the early window. The Rams traveling to the East Coast, Sean, playing in the early window. Hopefully their body clocks will be okay. 80% of the public doesn't care because they're laying the 3 points with the Rams. -168 on the money line.
Terrell, as he's highlighting, 2 and 12 ATS. The Titans are.
Great point. They're due. +149 on the money line for the Jets. 46.5 is the total. I hate another game. I hate. How do you not just take the Rams here?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Okay. Rams off long rest. I don't believe in they don't need this game. Have you watched the Jets secondary? Jets we saw cocky Mac Jones. That's how the Jags were moving the ball. I mean, Brian Thomas
the Jets
Jr.
did win though.
Yeah, because the Jags defense is horrible, and the Rams defensive line. Kobe Turner is very good. They have a very good pass rush. They're coming off that nice win against the 49ers on Thursday Night Football. Sean McVay is a much better coach than Olbrecht.
I saw Fisk got named to Will Compton's all white team for 2024-25. So that's a huge accomplishment for the defensive lineman of the Rams.
Yeah, the Rams defensive line is very good, and this Jets defense is very bad. Even with Aaron Rodgers playing a little better, he's been able to do that because these other teams that he's faced haven't had pass rushes, and the Rams have a pass rush. The Rams, Jared Verse, Kobe Turner, these are fast guys that will be able to hunt down Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers getting in fights with Ryan Clark, which I don't even know who to root for that one. They're both super annoying.
Oh my God. Talk about one of those two people that could both disappear, and I don't think many would be upset.
No.
It's the worst of, it's literally the worst of both sides. That's what I would say. It's like, give me a Street Fighter style battle where both guys fall off into the pit.
Trevor's saying, watch the Rams, or watch the Rodgers documentary, and therefore taking the Rams.
Yeah. But the Aaron Rodgers shit talking of Ryan Clark. How do we settle this in 2024? We have some sort of celebrity fight, right?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Aaron Rodgers is just
what's he so mad about? So Ryan Clark,
he's
shitting
big mad.
on him.
No, it was started with Aaron Rodgers calling out ESPN hosts while he's on ESPN, and I think Ryan Clark called out his performance as a quarterback, and then yikes. I don't know, and then somehow the vaccines get in there. I really didn't follow it. I don't care. Aaron Rodgers, whatever pulse he's had these past couple of weeks, to me, it's more about opponent.
So he wants, instead of pronouns, he wants vax status. Kind of the same thing. Doesn't he realize he's being what he hates? The irony, Sean.
Yeah.
Maybe Aaron Rodgers isn't that smart in real life. Again, he's internet smart.
He's smart because he read the internet.
Hey, put the Rams down. What are we still talking about this game for?
I had it figured out a while ago. You seem stuck on it, Ryan.
No, I'm hemming and hawing because it's just like an obvious donkey spot for the Rams. Back-to-back road spot. Everyone's betting on them.
No,
how is this not 3.5?
Coming off long rest.
I know. Jets coming off a win. That's all I had to hear.
UnderdogFantasy.com. If you haven't signed up there, what are you waiting for? Get it on the Underdog Fantasy Pick'em. Super fun. They also have playoff best ball drafts going, and you get a deposit match up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you use the promo code SGPN. Right, let's get a little Underdog Fantasy Pick'em going for the fine folks in the audience. What do you like for the games that we've already talked about?
All right, let's see. We got. My instincts say just pull up the Burrow numbers.
Okay.
And find your favorite thing. 2.5 touchdowns higher.
Well, I played completions last week, and he somehow had 25, and it was 25.5. It was a very annoying outcome.
That's the wrong number. You shouldn't play that number.
Okay.
We were talking about figuring out the guy who's going to beat the Ravens deep from the Steelers. Is it Calvin Austin?
I mean, James Conner to run on this Panthers defense. I like that angle.
What's the
80.5 rushing yards?
Do they have a fantasy points projection? That feels like a fantasy points or even a touchdown.
He is. Yeah, I don't mind. Touchdown is 0.8x. So you're laying a little juice there. They don't have a fantasy projection for James Conner.
Then go. I'd say just TD, right?
Okay, so it's 0.8x.
Yeah,
so what are we putting together with James Conner?
What's the Calvin Austin number?
Let's see if I don't know if they have Calvin Austin. They don't have Calvin Austin yet.
Do they have Mike Williams?
They don't have Mike Williams yet, Ryan.
All right. We'll move along to another game then. And you don't want to play the Burrow TDs?
Let's see. Joe Burrow passing TDs. We get a 1.3x higher 2.5.
That or Mahomes, because like I said, I think the hero.
I don't think Mahomes has a good statistical game.
Okay,
I'll take the Joe Burrow higher.
Okay,
2.5 passing touchdowns.
All right. So what's the third leg?
Third leg. Okay.
Well, I think this. Do we go to the Rams game?
I mean, if we want an auto play, Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown.
We haven't. You said games. Well, all right.
We can also take Stafford passing yards. I think he's going to be able to throw on this Jets defense.
That sounds more fun.
Okay. So Matt Stafford higher 241.5 passing yards. Joe Burrow higher 1.3x spicy on 2.5 passing touchdowns. James Conner higher a half rushing and receiving touchdown. $100 entry returns you $624. Underdogfantasy.com promo code SGPN.
Terrell wants to know if we're concerned about Joe Burrow sucking versus the Browns.
That is he has historically been bad against them, but he shook off that a little bit, I think, beating them earlier this year.
It's true. But they've been better at home. So I guess that would be the angle if I was arguing it. Game number 1 in the late window, Sean, Minnesota, and another game. It's just super difficult game to look at because it seems obvious. Minnesota heads to Seattle, where Seattle's a 3-point home dog, plus 133 on the money line, minus 152 for the Vikings. 43.5 is the total. And Sean, 80% of the bets are in on the Vikings, who of course are on short rest. And a little reminder, it's not just Christmas,
and maybe look ahead too.
It's not just Christmas games for next week. We also have Thursday game where the Seahawks take on the Bears. So Seahawks do have that to look forward to as well.
But Minnesota Vikings looking ahead to Green Packers. Bay,
yeah. Which I think you want to talk about a motivational spot. Certainly you would think. I mean, how much does this, the problem with the Vikings is the Vikings still fancy themselves as a chance at the 1 seed.
Yeah, and they have a legit chance.
So there's no chance they're looking past this game because they need all the wins. And we've kind of been on the tip of the Seattle's capable of beating bad teams, and they're not going to beat good teams. And strangely, because I have not found myself on the Vikings a lot this year, but the Vikings are being disrespected here. Am I wrong?
Is there? I don't know. I mean, the Vikings defense has had issues.
Gino is banged up.
Yeah.
An immobile Gino.
No, I've been anti-Gino.
Pressure's already a problem for this guy. You talking about Brian Flores against a banged up Geno Smith?
Yeah, he's been bad. In particular, he's been bad at home. 2-6 ATS, 3-5 straight up, 8 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. I'm just annoyed that they still got over their win total. But
if you're betting this, you're betting on Sam Darnold throwing interceptions,
which is possible.
But what are the chances
on the road?
You need Sam Darnold to throw more interceptions than Geno Smith.
Yeah, I'll take.
What are the chances that happens?
Yeah, not high. I'll take the Vikings laying the 3. Again, super chalky, but I can't. I'm off this Seattle team. I briefly dabbled with Seattle last week, regretted it as soon as the game kicked off. And it's not even a lock that Geno plays. I mean, you could be getting a discount here on a Sam Howell number. I do think Geno plays, but
Kenneth Walker back.
Yeah, but then Charbonnet's
out.
Yeah, I mean he didn't practice today, dealing with an oblique. So I'll take the Vikings laying the 3.
Yeah, banged up Geno is the handicap for me.
That's all you need to hear.
Game 2 in the late window. This used to be a great rivalry. Hopefully it can get back to those days. Bills Patriots. Bills minus 1,300 on the money line.
Wow.
Minus 14 for the point spread. Pats at plus 880 for one game, not the division. One game of football. 46.5 is the total. So the Pats might be dead.
What do you mean? They have Drake May, the best quarterback in this class. And
that's interesting.
No, I was being sarcastic.
Oh, okay.
Just like when I said on Twitter,
do you not think he has flashed some skills that would make you optimistic about him? It seems like there could be a dysfunctional coaching situation. Right
sure,
now.
But also you gotta do a little something. To me, it's like all these flashes have coincidentally come in garbage time when the game's out of reach. I'd love to see Mac Jones get out to like a 7-0 lead against or 10-0 lead against a decent team.
By Mac Jones, you meant Drake May, right?
Drake May. I'd love to see it for Mac Jones as well. I'd love to see Drake May get out to like a 10-0 lead. All these nice throws, and he has had some nice throws. He throws a good ball, but And I don't think Gerard Mayo's an NFL head coach. He has plenty of excuses. He's a rookie dealing with this shitty team. I get it.
Schedule remaining games. This game against the Bills, home game against the Chargers, home game against the Bills.
I'm not.
What game does he flash these abilities?
I'm not out on Drake May. I'm just not as people are like, it's a slam dunk. He's great. I'm not sold on Drake May yet.
So if you were ranking like confidence on, so 5 years, so second contract.
Yeah.
Likelihood of this player getting a second contract from the team they're playing for. Where do you put Drake May compared to Jaden Daniels and the rest of the rookies?
I mean, he's behind Jaden Daniels. Yeah. He's behind Bo Nix. I think he's. I
don't think Bo Nix is a lock for a second contract.
Okay, you asked for my ratings. I know. I'm telling you.
Just giving feedback.
All right. Do you want to answer the question?
I understand why people are excited about Drake May.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ridiculous to think that Drake May could be very good in the NFL. He has all the skills. He has the size. He can move. And he's in a situation where that's clearly dysfunctional. So it's easy to tell yourself, well, if he only has a better situation.
You talk yourself into a narrative. And you're totally in on it. Yeah. Caleb Williams has a much better situation doing less. I mean, the problem with the Bears and the Pats are we don't really know their head coach or the situation, and that can really play a huge part in whether or not they get to the second contract. So just because I think there's much more stability in the Broncos organization, I would say Bo Nix's chances of getting the second contract thus are much higher.
Yeah. Assuming Peyton doesn't relapse, allegedly.
Yeah. What are we doing here? I mean,
I don't
Josh
know.
Allen just going to run it up on him?
So historically, the Bills are one of those teams that will just completely throttle bad teams. I don't. This is a very interesting spot though for me because the Bills have been just pouring it out think about the Bills the last couple weeks. They have been, gas pedal all the way to the floor. You had that just dominating performance. So you have I mean, I'll even go. You can go back as far as you want, but if you start with the Chiefs, huge win at home.
Yeah,
huge win at home. You go into the bye week, you come out, huge win at home to basically win the division against the Niners. And at the time, you're thinking beating the Niners or one of the top teams from the NFC. Then you go on the road, you lose this crazy back and forth with the Rams, followed by a crazy game against the Lions. At some point, they have to have a flat spot, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'll take the
Bills play the Pats, the Jets, and the Pats.
No, I mean this is
they don't need to win any of these games
since the start. Well,
I understand
they do for the number one seed.
They don't need to cover by 14 for
since
sure.
The start of 2022, the Patriots are 3-27 straight up, 425-1 ATS when trailing by 7 points or more at any point. Yeah, I mean that's the problem. Is Gerard Mayo is just such a lost coach. Didn't see a ton of fight in that Arizona game. But I do think Drake May, Christian Gonzalez maybe can slow down Amari Cooper here a little bit. Is this a empty the tank game for the Pats?
Sean,
yeah,
kneecap trend. It applies.
Oh yeah, you're right. All right, that's one more reason. Although kneecap trend really let us down let me down last week with Green Bay. But I'm with you. I'll take the Patriots plus 14. It's a little crazy for a division game.
I just think you look at what the Bills have done, like the amount of energy.
Baby fucking wheel, man.
Bills win by like 11 points.
Sure, and Drake May, I still don't think the linebacker situation is totally correct. And again, why I think the Eagles are in a really good spot, not only their offense, but the defense. Like it's tough to say, sure. Bills have looked awesome on offense. Josh Allen, give him the MVP right now. Totally agree with that. But it's back-to-back games where the Bills defense has let up a tremendous amount of points. Yeah. I don't think that, like, to me, no one has, there was a good stat about no team has ever let up 45 points at home and won the Super Bowl, which I would apply to the Lions here. But also, like, I think it kind of applies to the Bills. Like this defense, I don't know, man. certainly they've had some moments, but certainly I think it's fair to question their defense a little bit, especially when the offense is putting you in good spots by running up the score. Now again, the Lions kind of did it in garbage time, but still, you let up 42 points, 44 points. They've let up 86 points in the last 2 games. Now they were road games against good offenses in domes, sure.
As you know, Sean, hosting office hours over at SGPN every week, was doing a little deep dive with Terrell in office hours, looking at the MVP race. I will say, Lamar much closer than, upon further inspection, Lamar might be closer than I thought to Josh Allen. So yeah, look, I just don't think you can continue to throttle. At some point, you have to dial it back a little bit. I think this is the kind of game. This 3-game stretch, honestly, is a game you maybe throttle it down a little bit. You win this game. You see how the Chiefs do. You don't cover this game.
Steffi Smalls checking in saying she just bet Kincaid touchdown because she likes pain. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with their tight end situation. Although off the top of my head, I don't think the Pats are great against the tight end. And Ziggy Ball's pointing out this is a huge letdown game for the Bills. I agree. Let's take the Pats in the 14.
2 touchdowns in the NFL, Sean. What could go wrong? So
I mean, they could get destroyed.
I know exactly. Game number 4 or 3 in the late window. There's a little Shanahan on Shanahan crime here. The Dolphins hosting the San Francisco 49ers. It's a pick, Sean. -115 for the Dolphins, -103 for the Niners. 44.5 is the total. Niners, obviously a little bit of an extra rest, but they are a team sliding down the hill. Again, that same Jay Leno hill, maybe. And I wonder where it stops with this team. They aren't technically dead. They are the longest shot to make the playoff, to win their own division, which is wild to think about.
Well, so I was looking at the chat for a second, and it felt like you were describing both those teams, except when you said the longest shot to win their division. Then I knew you were talking about the 49ers, but they're both kind of in a similar path here, where they came in with a bunch of expectations, dealing with some injuries. Their coaches have been exposed as frauds.
I think the difference is the Niners were, like, people were talking about them like greatest roster in the game, favorite to, easily. I mean, think about it. They were in the same ballpark odds wise as the Chiefs to win their division.
Yeah.
Think about how silly that looks.
I mean, they were like 3-1 to win the NFC.
No one in their division is having a great season. It's that they fell down on their face.
I mean, they could have won the division at 10-7.
They are not in a. What is the difference between the NFC West and the NFC South?
No, nothing much.
The NFC South has a team that could maybe go on a playoff run.
Yeah, I could see the Bucks winning a playoff game.
That's the difference.
Maybe you could probably see the Rams winning one.
But it's very similar. And that's not what we thought that this division was going to be.
Oh, I wasn't high on the 49ers coming into the year, Ryan.
No, but the division, I don't think we thought. I don't, in our wildest fantasies, thought this was going to be the case. They were going to be the long shot with 3 weeks to go in the season to win their own division. No, I could not have predicted this. And on the other side, I don't know what to think about Miami. Maybe you're right about the fraudulent coach. There's so much knowledge about what each other will do in this game. Which quarterback do you like better?
Yeah, I mean, at least I'm seeing this.
Tua's at home, and Tua beats teams that aren't playoff teams.
Yeah, Tua versus
the Niners aren't a playoff team this year.
Tua versus sub 500 teams is certainly a good angle, but does seem like Nick Bosa is going to play, and
he matters.
Yeah, and I think whatever left of whatever confidence Tua had left, I think is gone. That loss against the Texans was incredibly ugly, throwing 3 interceptions. The 49ers have extra rest to stew and brood about that loss against the Rams. And Nick Bosa called the team out, quote, "We're going to find out who wants to be here the next few weeks," said Nick Bosa. Where's the fire on this Dolphins team? And the whole reason you like the Dolphins is because and I do it, and also the 49ers had a guy that quit mid game, and oddly I think that's a thing the team is rallying around because Mike Lynch, their GM, got in his face, suspended him for 3 games. Like this sink is shipping the ship is sinking for the 49ers, but I think they still have some order on the ship where it's like, hey, this guy's the captain. We follow these protocols, women and children first. Miami Dolphins are just like hitting their vape pen and have no idea what's going on. They're lost at sea and couldn't care less. And they're horrible at home. They're 2-5 ATS. I'm taking the 49ers.
Have you looked at the weather?
Don't care.
It's going to be in the mid to high 70s. Any chance this could turn into a thermometer game?
No, right. That needs to be like 100.
It's the winter though. It's going to be humid. If it's 80 degrees and a little humid, you don't think that's a problem for San Francisco coming from the dry Bay air?
I mean, both teams suck. Niners, as Terrell's pointing out, also not great ATS on the road. But that's usually been when they've been favored, right?
Give me the Dolphins.
That's I don't like this Dolphins.
I don't like this game. Wish I could have passed it. 4th game in the late window. More.
Now we're talking. This game's easy to pick.
Game of the week: Jags, Raiders. Will we see a lot of Jags fans in Las Vegas? Will there be a Jags huddle up at the Circa?
Oh yeah, 100%.
-1.5 for the Raiders, -122 on the money line. Jags +104. 40.5 is the total. I strangely do think we're going to see a bunch of Jags fans. Sean, not even trying to make a joke.
Okay.
Vacation. You
got
a game in Vegas. Nice.
I'll put the over under a 1.5, and I'll take the under.
Fans.
Someone dressed in Jaguars gear.
I'll take the over.
Okay. And great question for our Spotify poll question. How many Jags fans will we see in Vegas? We fly out to Vegas every Friday to do our VSiN show, 11 o'clock East, VSiN.com or on YouTube TV. Usually get there around like 1 o'clock, head over to the Circa.
Anyone wearing a Jag shirt, right?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Jags gear. I'll keep it open to Jags gear.
Hopefully a starter jacket. That will leave no question.
It's like the Charlotte Hornets. They're like just this weird teal colored fan base that they're fans at the game. I've never met one. I've met a ton of fans over the years. Don't know a ton of Jaguars fans, but I know they're out there.
I think they have some rabid fans, Sean. They hang out in a hot tub.
I gotta say, I love the Jags here. I love it. I love it. You got cocky Mac Jones. They were playing hard that entire game, even though the Jets were a much more talented team. And whatever it is in these lame duck situations, Doug P, the guys play for Doug P.
Is he going to keep his job?
It's weird. I don't think so because
why have they not fired him yet? That's
a good question. It was hilarious where they go. There was a report that Doug Peterson is playing for coaching for his job there up in Detroit. So if it doesn't look good, he could be fired, and they lose 52-6, and he doesn't get fired. And they've played competitive football ever since. They lost to the Texans 23-20. That was when Trevor Lawrence got knocked out. Mac Jones got him a win in Tennessee. Again, another reason why you shouldn't be on the Titans. Jags went in and beat them. And then they fought to the bitter end against the Jets. Almost like I'm not going to say they should have covered, but that was a good effort by the Jags. I think they do it here. I think they ball out, whatever that version is. Mac Jones continues to run the football. I think Doug Peterson is a much better head coach than Antonio Pierce, and I think the Raiders really care about setting themselves up for the #1 pick. Where I think the Jags, everyone on this Jags team, they're probably not going to be here next year. They don't care, so I think they're just playing to win. I like the Jags outright.
They just lost at home to the Jets.
Yeah, but we watched that game. I mean the Raiders just lost at home to Kirk Cousins, who completed 11 passes, and they benched him. And they lost and didn't cover as like 5-point dogs.
This is just one of the worst. This is one of the most disgusting games.
I'm really excited for this game.
I'm tempted to take the Raiders. I can't though. But the Jags just lost the Jets at home. The Jets were cooked. Transitive property here is broken. It says that we should fade both these teams somehow.
Steph pointing out girls do like the Jags print.
Really?
Like chicks dig the animal print. So all right, but that doesn't count as it has to be officially licensed Jaguars gear for the your bet.
Give me the Raiders.
Raiders.
We
as a favorite. No, thank you. The Raiders is a favorite. It's almost as bad as your Titans pick, Ryan.
Thank you. Sunday Night Football. The Tampa Bay Bucks taking on the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas. Big D as they call it. For Dallas, not Dick. +3.5 for the Cowboys. +176 on the money line. 48.5 is the total. Sean, only 79% of the bets are on the Bucks right now. I'd like to talk to those 21%. I'm hearing people say things like Cooper Rush, pretty good backup quarterback. Jerry's hearing the compliments, getting happy about the. Again, you kind of have to give Todd Bowles the bump about running his defense out against a subpar. It's not a rookie, but subpar offense here. I know the running game has looked better over the past couple weeks. It will not in this matchup against Tampa. And on the back end of this defense, if they don't get pressure on Baker, I mean, dude, McMillan's back.
Yeah,
Mike Evans is running around. They're Cade Otton. I like this offense here. So, a lot to say. Obviously we're taking the Bucks.
All over Tampa Bay here. Todd Bowles against Cooper Rush. Love that matchup. Love fading the Cowboys off a win. And I mean, just look at the Cowboys at home. It's been a complete train wreck. It really has. I mean, remember the last time they played at home and they completely muffed that game against the Bengals? Oh, well, yeah, they did beat the Giants on Thanksgiving, but that was it.
The Giants were very injured for that game.
Oh, that was a rare time the Giants looked bad. Texans beat them 34-10 at home. Eagles beat them 34-6 at home. Lions beat them 47-9.
Let's put a reminder in the calendar for next year. Just
Ravens 28-25. Remember the Saints beat them 44-19.
Beautiful game. We have to play the game of the year lines against the Cowboys on every team. I mean, if we had taken this game, for example, we would have Bucks +4.5.
It's insane. And as Dick Puncher's pointing out, Mike Evans needs 18 receptions, 251 yards, and 1 touchdown to hit a $3 million bonus. Baker 100% getting him paid. Yeah, I don't even if incentives are not. Mike Evans is going to eat against this defense.
Can I make a request for the people that publish the incentive stuff? Why wait till the middle of the season? Just give them all to me. Well, I want to read but preseason. Give me just give them up and give me the incentives. Why not publish all this stuff then? I do like how we've gotten to the point where now it comes out now week 15. It used to only be week 17, week 18, week 15. We're on it.
It's week 16, but you're right.
No, it came out last week though. Is why I'm saying week 15.
Yeah, people are getting ahead of it.
No, I like it. Just bring it out week 1 next year. Last game.
So we're both on the Bucks.
I think that's the right thing to do. I was thinking we should spoof the ESPN tout graphic that they put out of Miss Dolan with put our record picking the Cowboys.
Oh, that's
just have
fun.
It be 0-0. Never picked them, and just have different time periods. Record picking the
100%.
Yeah, and then we can hold the football in a funny way and show everyone we don't know ball. Monday Night Football, 5:15 on the West Coast. Interesting matchup here. We got a dome team, New Orleans Saints, going up to Green Bay. I hear it's cold this time of year, and they're catching 14.5 points here. It's going to be Spencer Rattler +940 on the money line. 42.5 is the total. Another game where we see a -1400 favorite. Yeah, I don't know. This is another one where it seems pretty clear why you don't lay the points. Packers with a massive game on deck against the Vikings. We mentioned it earlier. And the reason to not take the Saints is I think the entire team might be really cold. And if they don't have Alvin Kamara, what are they going to do? So
And maybe Alvin Kamara does play. This is just a, I mean, get out the bread, Ryan. Is this not a classic sandwich spot for the Packers?
Oh, 100%. I do get the sense that Kamara is not going to be.
But I would say this too. Like Rattler's got a little fight in him, which could work for or against him. And Monday Night Football dogs of this big have actually been good for the favorite. But yeah, I still think they're playing relatively hard for Rizzy, and that to me is the handicap. I will take New Orleans Saints getting 14.5 points. I understand the case for Green Bay, and yeah, it's cold, and they're gonna run it up, and they can do a lot of stuff. But I don't know, man. You saw the way that Saints team finished that game. Like I don't feel like they were clearly outmatched against Washington. Now, granted, they were at home, but did they ever feel like they were laying down? I don't think so. I think the fact that it's Monday Night Football, everyone in your family is watching that game. It's around the holidays. Like I think it is a decent get up spot, and it's not so much a lay down look ahead spot for Green Bay. It's just, their motivation is going to be normal, but yeah, 14.5 is insane for an NFL game. So yeah, give me the Saints.
Yeah. I mean, Spencer Rattler hasn't been that good. And I think the reason they had Kamara last week, they were going against a team with a dreadful defense. This Packers team is different. But even Dick Puncher, who's a hardcore Packers fan, saying a lot of points here, a lot of points. He's not going to say to take the Saints. Don't you wish they had Taysom Hill or something? You have to.
Oh yeah, that's why you're getting 14.5 points. If they had Taysom Hill, they'd probably be favored, right? We know how good Taysom Hill is. That guy can swing any line.
We could have Packers -5 here if we took the pre. Yeah, you can't take the Packers here. It's a we opened the show talking about making sure we don't try to over handicap motivation spots, but it does seem like there's a lot of situational spots this week. And yeah, we'll take the warm weather dome team without their best player and a third string quarterback going out to Lambeau in the cold.
Yeah, no,
that's what we'll do.
I'll do that because you're getting 14.5 points, which is an insane amount. So
they say the point spread is the ultimate equalizer, Sean.
Lock it up for the well, not lock it up, but
relax.
I considered.
Whoa, no, you didn't.
Yeah, I did because 14.5 is insane. And head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. I'm sure, and I was looking at it earlier, I'm sure my model and Rhythm's model both love the Saints catching that gigantic number. But go over there, get set up, and start poking around. Very easy to set up your own model. Great for picks and props. I always pull at least a couple of my props from the Props podcast, which we put out every Thursday afternoon with our buddy CJ. Obviously Rhythm likes the Saints plus 14.5. I like it as well in my model. And you'll like Rhythm as well. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Get set up, get your 7-day free trial. Kramer, we're 3-2 last week on the Circa Million, 54% in the Circa Million. So not an insane heater, but a profitable season in the ATS streets.
Yeah, totally. And apologies, I was getting distracted by Dick Puncher's avatar.
Oh yeah,
you can tell Dick Puncher's internet persona lifts. Hits the gym, probably does some shoulder press.
Mike checking in, going, I realize we're way past this game, but Cade Stover touchdown loading.
It's never too late to bring up a backup tight end.
Well, and just to keep an eye on it, because Cade Stover DNP on Tuesday's walkthrough, so we'll see. And he underwent an emergency appendectomy. So Mike, I don't know. We'll see.
You think he's a pussy? He's not going to be able to play through that. All right,
Kramer, do you want to go first?
Sure.
Okay. What do you got?
Lock number 1. Actually, what am I doing? This is as easy as they come. Vikings -3.
Okay.
Chiefs -3.5.
KC -3.5. What do you like for your dog?
Dog. It's got to be it's got to be the Steelers. Got to be the Steelers. I've watched this movie before. You the best way to say it is exactly what you said about. They know how to make Lamar run to his left and look foolish.
Yeah, they know how to play Lamar, and Keep going.
Teaser.
Yep.
Bengals -1.5. Oh, that's the
Great
one.
tease.
That's the one everyone's going to use. We'll see how that one turns out for us. Now the rest of this, it gets very tricky. All right, so we're going to take the Saints up to 20.5.
That's crazier than taking Saints 14.5. Teasing the Saints.
No,
this is a Colby tease, Kramer.
And I'm going to take the Lions down to 0.5.
Okay.
Sometimes you got to mix it up, you know.
Agreed.
Zig when they think you're going to.
For my lock, it's always the Steelers +6.5. For my other lock, Indy -3.5.
Really?
Yeah. Whoever's playing the Titans, it's my new formula. It's a pretty strong formula, Ryan. And for my dog, now I do not like laying points with Anthony Richardson right now. I do like the Steelers on the money line.
You're gonna double up.
I mean,
a rare double up.
All the dogs. Well, I don't like the Giants on the money line, right? Although
what about the Pats?
The Pats? That's pretty interesting.
Take the Jags as a money line.
You know what? Yeah,
small dog energy. So much so it's cat energy.
You're joking, but I love the Jags in this spot. Give me the Jags. +105 on the money line.
You ever seen those mixtapes of cats just fucking dogs up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't joking.
Yeah.
I know about the internet.
Let's see for the tees. Give me the Broncos up to 8.5. Also could have been my dog, but they're not going to get work like that.
A Thursday night tease.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Give me.
It's week 16. It's just accept it. Find something that's not normal.
Oh yeah. Give me Cincy -1.5.
Perfect. Oh, that's who's.
And then give me the 49ers +6 on the tees. So our Circa million card, Vikings -3, KC -3.5, Pittsburgh +6.5, Indy -3.5.
Ugh, gross. What's the last one we like? Fade the Cowboys.
Yeah, Tampa Bay -3.5.
I'd say we take that or the Saints.
The Saints are good for comedy purposes. Do we? I did briefly consider locking up the Saints.
All right, here's our options: Bengals, Bucks, or Saints.
Baker's gonna fuck them up.
Rams is also an option, I guess, against the Jets. But for some reason, that one's giving me the look like just don't come inside this one. That might be a clip. Yeah, you want to take the Bucks?
Like a rocket.
Bucks -3.5. So Bucks -3.5, Colts -3.5, Steelers +6.5, Chiefs -3.5, and the Vikings laying the 3. Officially the Circa million card. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Check out the prop show tomorrow. VSiN show Friday nights. Get over to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN, rebet, promo code SGPN, underdog fantasy, promo code SGPN, rhythm, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RATHMM, and make sure you do yourself a favor and enter the free college football playoff contest. $1,000 up for grabs, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CFP.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan.
We just need to get to week 17.
Kramer, let it ride.